A simple 5 cent can be worth $62,000 if it has these rare minting errors. Today I'll explain the coin's history and the specific minting errors that can turn an ordinary 5 cents into a valuable treasure. So without wasting any time, let's start the video. Before we talk about errors, understand the chain reaction. Every 1976 nickel begins as a plancher, a circular blank cut from long metal strips of copper-nickel alloy. Those blanks are fed into a coining press between two hardened steel dies. The upper die carries Jefferson's portrait. The lower die carries Monticello. A circular collar surrounds the plancher at the moment of impact. It keeps the metal contained and forms the smooth edge. Then comes the strike. The press closes with enormous striking pressure, forcing metal into the die cavities in a fraction of a second. If alignment is perfect, the result is ordinary. If timing slips, pressure shifts, or steel fractures, the result is extraordinary. Now we climb. Dies don't last forever. Under repetitive stress, cracks form. These cracks transfer as raised lines onto the coin's surface. If part of the die breaks off completely, a bold cud forms along the rim. A strong 1976 cud error in high uncirculated grade can command around $1,800. That's the foundation. But this is only step one. If the collar fails to engage properly, the metal expands outward during the strike. The coin appears wider with a flattened rim. A sharply struck 1976 broad strike, especially from D, can reach approximately $3,900. Collectors pay for visual drama, and this is where it starts to show. When planchers are punched from metal strips, a misaligned punch can leave a curved section missing. Once struck, that clipped area causes distortion near the missing segment. A bold 1976 clipped plancher in elite condition can climb to around $7,500. The jump is noticeable, but we're still mid-level. An off-center strike occurs when the plancher isn't fully seated in the collar during impact. Small shifts are collectible, but when 40% to 70% of the design is displaced, while the date remains visible, the coin becomes visually explosive. A dramatic 1976 off-center example can reach approximately $17,000. Now we're entering serious territory. Debris between the die and plancher can block part of the design during striking. The result? Missing details, deep voids, areas where metal never fully formed. On a 1976 nickel, especially sharp examples from S-proofs, major struck-through errors can reach around $26,000. Mystery increases demand. Collectors aren't just buying a coin. They're buying the moment something went wrong. If a coin fails to eject and get struck again, shifted or rotated, the designs overlap, two impressions, sometimes partial rotations, occasionally triple strikes. A bold 1976 multiple strike error in high grade can command approximately $38,000. At this level, auction rooms go quiet before bidding starts, because rarity is undeniable. Occasionally, a nickel design is struck onto a plancher intended for another denomination. Wrong size, wrong composition, wrong weight. When authenticated, a 1976 nickel struck on the wrong plancher can climb to around $49,000 in top condition. Now we're approaching the summit, but we're not there yet. A doubled die is created before striking even begins during die manufacturing. If the hub imprints the die more than once at slightly different angles, permanent doubling appears in the design. On a 1976 nickel, bold doubling in the date or lettering graded MS67 or higher can reach about $58,500. Close. Very close. But one error justifies the full leap. This is the rarest tier. A transitional die error occurs when a die from a different production phase or design refinement is mistakenly used. It represents internal production overlap, a behind-the-scenes crossover during die preparation. On a confirmed 1976 nickel with this level of rarity, preserved in elite condition, valuation has reached the full $62,000. This is the ceiling, the point where a 5-cent coin becomes a high-value artifact. An MS-67 example drastically outperforms lower grades. MS-68, population drops sharply, proof 70 from S, absolute perfection under magnification. When a major mint error meets near-perfect grading, value doesn't increase gradually. It multiplies. Now imagine a strong double die with a clipped plancher or a wrong plancher with multiple strikes. Combined errors don't just add value, they compound it. And that's how a simple 1976 5-cent coin crosses into $62,000 territory. The next time you see a 1976 nickel from P, D, or S, pause. Look closer, because under the right conditions, 5 cents can turn into something unforgettable. And if you want more rare coin investigations like this, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel, because your next discovery might already be waiting in your change.